I actually was thinking during the week I should record something instead of just doing the stupid song every time, but I don't know. How you going, buddy? What's Uncle Leon?
That's part
happening?
of the magic, mate.
Is it?
I look forward to that every single week. So yeah, I've been good. I'm heading off to Noosa later today to do the guitar festival over there. Should be pretty fun.
Nice.
Play some tunes.
Tunes.
Do some noose. What about you?
It's just living, mate. Loving. We're wearing the same thing today. That's pretty cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, hang on.
Long-haired boys with black shirts.
What are you doing? You doing shorts or jeans?
Shorts.
Mate. Shorts, boys. Yeah. Black shorts too.
Unplanned.
Hey. But you know what? I'm wearing a cap today, which doesn't happen a lot. Do you want to know why?
Why is that, Troy?
I'm actually getting ready for my Halloween costume because it is the 31st of October. It's the scariest day of the year. So I'm dressing as an especially scary thing for Halloween. Hey, I don't really know anymore, mate. Are you chronically online as I am, or just a little bit online?
I'm chronically online, but in different ways, I believe. I feel like I don't have a Twitter currently known as X account anymore, so I feel like I miss out on a lot of the hot topics.
Yeah.
But I know you are still on Twitter currently known as X.
Do you know AJ and Big Justice? We bring the boom.
I do. They're the boom guys, right?
The boom guys,
Yep.
yeah. Double chocolate cookie. Yeah, so I was trying to think of the most low impact costume that I could wear. And so I'm going to tie my hair up. I'm practicing with a baseball cap. I've got to flip it the other way around, obviously, because it's backwards like a cool 90s kid at the moment. But yeah, I just need to go get a big chocolate cookie from the shops, and I'll just walk around with that in one hand. I'll kind of like walk sideways, and then when we go to a house and we get some candy from someone, I'll say, "This brings the boom." I'll do one of those. And
now, are those two the American Dream or the American Nightmare? And is there a difference?
The American Nightmare is Cody Rhodes, but mate,
Yeah, right.
who knows? Hey, it's again, it's like it's enjoyable for me. It's a whole extended universe. You got the Rizzler in there as well. If people don't know what we're talking about, that's on you, unfortunately.
And if Halloween has taught us anything, it's about enjoying yourself, and we certainly do that here. I'm bummed that I'm missing it because last year I felt like was like the best one in Perth to date.
Last year's Halloween was great. Yeah. Like, we've spoken about this before. Like, Halloween for us as kids wasn't really a thing. It wasn't really allowed to be a thing because our parents were very anti-American in that regard.
It was your mum going, "What's this Americanized crap?"
Yeah. And it's just like now, we didn't get Halloween when we were kids, so all of our kids now get the joy of it. So we're going to go to a different place this year, I think, a different street.
Awesome.
There's like, I think we probably spoke about this last Halloween, but yeah, there was a couple of streets that are just like the Halloween streets in every neighborhood. So we'll hit a different one this year, try some different candy. It's a relatively a wealthy neighborhood, so maybe we'll get the good candy bars. We'll see how we go. But yeah, and unfortunately, the whole time you'll be on a flight, hey?
I'll just be sitting on a plane eating, I don't know, maybe they'll bring out the Weiss. It's a Virgin flight, so I don't know how they'll probably make you pay for food.
What is that, 5 hours to?
Yeah, it's fine.
You've flown to Brisbane?
Something like that, yeah, to Brizzy. So
where is Noosa compared to
watch
Brisbane?
last week's episode.
Is that a drive?
I think it's about 90-minute drive south, 2 hours south, depending on. I think it's south. So I better figure that out because I have to drive myself tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I was going to say. So you hiring a car and driving down there?
Yeah, basically. So I fly in this afternoon. Mm-hmm. I get there, I think, for like 11 p.m. local time, and I'll get in and have a sleep, and then get up in the morning, hire a car. I'll drive down there, and then I've got a workshop at I think 6 p.m. at Music Noosa.
Cool.
Tomorrow night. So that should be pretty cool. We're going to play a few songs. You'll be overjoyed to know that on Monday, because normally when I do workshops, I at least play a couple of songs. So, got to play a few Rags tunes. And I was like, man, I don't have a no guitars version of Sky's Limit. I should call Troy. And I was going to call you, be like, can you export this? And I was like, you know what? I'll just play a different song instead. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah. Didn't bother you. But maybe for the next one, I'll get you to do it and go through the heartache of having to... Well, actually, maybe there'll be less heartache because you can just mute the guitars.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not that hard. I think we talked about it. There's not that many guitars in that song, so it'll be pretty simple.
Yeah.
You can, mate, just call me anytime you like. Just don't call me late for dinner.
There you go.
But hey, before we talk about something else, we got a gig in about 2 months, mate. You excited about that? Can we
Yeah,
talk about
I'm
that?
excited about this. Yeah. I'm under no NDA for our Whitesnake tribute band that's happening.
So on one side of the stage, on one side of the stage being John Sykes is Leon Todd. On the other side of the stage is me, being me probably. But we should
mate, are you gonna do the Vandenberg?
Don't.
Or you gonna you could Steve Vai it,
mate. I was gonna Red Beach it. I think we should be.
You should Red Beach it.
So yeah, I mean, if people haven't worked this out, so we're going to do a Whitesnake tribute set. So that's going to be fun. You've done it before, right? You've done it once or twice.
Done it a bunch of times. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I still have a set list. So
maybe
I know what
3 or
songs.
4 times with this band.
Yeah. So it should be fun, man. And I'm coming into.
Well, Troy, why don't we explain the multiverse of Whitesnake tribute bands in Perth?
Well, you're basically the Doctor Strange that fits everything together, aren't you?
Yeah, isn't that strange? Literally. But yeah, so when did we do the first one? Which
2012
was, wow, 2012. So that was Ryan on vocals, me on guitar, a friend of the podcast, Gareth Hughes, put it all together on bass, and Gibbsy and Wild Matt.
Yep.
So that was pretty fun. And then we did, I think...
Just quickly, it doesn't get any more Aussie than that. Like, yeah, Gibbsy and Wild Matt.
Gibbsy and Wild Matt. Shout out to Gibbsy and Wild Matt.
Yep.
They're definitely not listening to this, but
Yep.
yeah, 2 absolute
And Kim
heroes.
on keyboards as well.
Kim Siragusa on keys, yeah.
Yep.
Which he is John Lord, basically.
Yep.
So that was awesome. We've done a few of those shows. You played bass on one of them after Gareth had moved, which is super fun.
Mm-hmm.
Did we play all of 1987?
We did. We did that at the Astor, I think it was.
Yeah.
That was cool. 1987.
2015, maybe?
Yeah, started 2015, I reckon it was. And then that band didn't really do anything after that. And then COVID Dale started up.
Yep.
And that's
during COVID. So
during COVID. So that's going.
So yeah, friends of ours, Simon and Aimer, put that one together.
Mm-hmm.
Simon is, I hope he's listening to this, because he knows he's one of the funniest people in existence. He just happens to be a left-handed bass player, so hold that against him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those 2 and Seb Georgie on drums, who have you been to his jam space?
No.
Mate, is he in Bayswater technically? So not far from your mum's place.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's the jam room you wish you had when you were 15. There are so many Kiss and like Megadeth posters on the wall. It's just awesome. So yeah, and lovely dude, great drummer. So yeah, it's previously actually one of my students, Miles Green, was playing guitar, and Miles is a monster. So it's kind of cool to like play. I think it's the only time I've ever done a gig with someone who I taught guitar for a considerable period of time. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Miles can't do it. So the big T walks in.
Stepping up to
We
the
should
plate.
do a video where we just go through the parts.
Yeah.
Because that'd be awesome.
I was going to say, so we haven't really spoken about this yet, which is why it's fun to talk about it
Yeah.
now. Because like, I'm looking forward to it, man. Because I don't often get to
It's going to be awesome.
I don't get to do gigs that often where I play, firstly, songs that I like. Secondly, songs that I bother to learn the parts for. And thirdly, man, when was the last time you and I did a gig where we're both on guitar? Like electric guitar? It's been like well over 10 years.
A long time.
Maybe like 2011, like when we did that New Year's gig. Surely we've done one since then,
So, mate,
but it's been a long time.
let's idea board this. How are we going to do it?
Well, okay.
Like, what are we going to use?
I was going to throw this out and see if you were interested, but I feel like you won't be. But let me throw this out to you. Do you want to do this gig with amps? And not only that, do you want to do this gig, you, Mark Series, I'll drag the Marshall along, we'll do like proper fucking rock and roll, like fuck everybody.
The rigs?
Yeah, we'll do the rigs. You want to do it?
Yeah.
I think it'd be really
I'll
fun.
build the Sykes rack.
Yeah, you build the Sykes rack. I'll do vintage Marshall. Like, because I mean, I'm pretty sure if I basically pretend I'm Red Beach, I'll bring my Coaster. I'll bring my like 70s Marshall, which is similar era to what Reb uses. Like, basically, I look nothing like him, but you know, I'll straighten my hair a bit.
But that's all right. You've retrieved a barbecue from the bottom of a pool before.
I'll go by. Well, I guess my name doesn't really. What is it? Richard Earl Beach doesn't really. I don't have an equivalent for that with mine where you can make a name of it. But yeah, we'll do that, mate. It'll be lots of fun. You Les Paul.
Now, what I would like to know, Troy, is I'm currently at redbeach.com And yes, Storytime is still on his website.
Good. Yep.
Yes, yeah, mate. Here it is, the Great Barbecue Grill Disaster. It is still online.
Someone needs
Everyone
to archive
should go.
that. Like, just in case it ever
Please
falls
go
offline.
and see Red Beach's website, because I got many a belly laugh out of reading that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've said this before.
It's so good.
When I was younger and all I wanted to do was go to America and drink a Coors Light, because according to that thing, that's what Reb has. He's drunk 10 Coors Lights a day since he was like 16 or something. So I thought, oh, that's cool. And then I had one with you guys and I was like, this is not really for me. But hey, maybe on this gig we'll find some Coors Lights. Actually, interesting fact, in Australia they can't import that beer.
Really?
Yeah, and there's a reason for it. They can import Coors, but they can't import Coors Light, because in America, light beer is low carbs, and in Australia, light beer is low alcohol. So
Low alcohol.
yeah, so that's why you can't get Miller Lite and stuff like you can over there.
Well,
Interesting thing. So obviously all related to gear, but yeah, we've got like 2 months, so I've got to learn these parts. But yeah, man, like let's do. I thought that would be really fun. Like we'll do actual amps. It's at like a reasonable sized gig with a sound person. So
Yeah.
like we don't have to really worry about anything else. We'll just like have a fat time.
show up and then realize how much we hate amps.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I did
Well, I might
go on.
I might have something very cool for that gig then. And I might play that Greco, the black one, and just full sykes it.
Mate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Tondi, imagine how dumb would I have to be to take like the Eventide?
Could do, Leon.
In mono, it would suck, but
Well,
yeah.
we have
Mark
stereo.
4 and VP4 would be pretty sick, actually.
Oh, we've got stereo power amps.
Wow. See, my one hesitation with this is that, do we? What are we playing that needs a clean sound?
I've not seen a
if we were
set list, man.
If we were doing stuff like Is This Love or things like that, then I'd be hesitant because you need that plastic clean sound.
Yeah.
But maybe not. It's sort of like your Bad Boys, your Children of the Night, your full, it's
Judgment Day?
45 minutes of No Judgment Day.
Oh.
I don't think there's anything off Slip of the Tongue on there, which I'm very happy with. And we were chatting about this week.
Yeah, man. I was talking about this with Gareth, actually. I just saw him before I came here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Controversial. I don't know what people think about this, but I think Steve Vai's like rhythm tone on that album is shit. I'll just say it. Like, I don't like it.
Not my bag.
The lead tone's
I'm
cool.
not into it.
Yeah, but it's like, do you know what it actually reminds me of? Is like, it kind of makes sense, but when we were playing together literally almost 20 years ago, when I was playing Ibanez IGs, I really kind of struggled to get the rhythm chunkiness that I liked. And it's kind of the same thing where it's like, it's missing this like, this push about it. And I don't know if that's the guitar. I don't know if it's the way he's playing it, or maybe it's a combination of a lot of things. But yeah, it's kind of fuzzy. It's sort of like, yeah, it's not thin, but it just doesn't have the same attack. And maybe I'm also coming at it with like, coming at it through James Hetfield eyes, where it's like that.
Yeah.
That's not the only way to play rhythm guitar, but like that, like attack on rhythm parts. I think I really respond well to that. So,
But mate, like go and listen to Ty Tabor or Red Beach play rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
You're
right.
For non-heavy metal guitar play, well, it was heavy metal at the time. Or Nuno,
Yep.
all those like that.
There's more gack in
those
it, like
guys
more attack in it.
Yeah, exactly. So
what
anytime I listen to Slip of the Tongue, I come away going, man, Steve Vai sucks. But then I listen to Passion and Warfare, I'm like, no, Steve Vai's the best.
Man, isn't it funny? Because
I think it's more a case of Steve Vai doing Steve Vai music is awesome.
Yeah, I was listening to Passion and Warfare only like a couple of weeks ago, and it's funny because I probably haven't listened to those two albums like that and Slip of the Tongue like so close together in a long time. But like, man, like some of the licks, it's just it's so clear like how much he's working out from one or the other. It's and you're right, man. Passion and Warfare, I really like the sounds in that album too. I like the rhythm sounds. Like Erotic Nightmares is a really cool guitar sound. I just don't really like it so much, but in Slip of the Tongue. So, and yeah, we're talking about this. Like, what was he using for that album? Was he on?
I don't know. I've seen various things.
Like Jose's
probably, yeah. I know there's obviously the famous Carbon X100B lurking around. But like, what? I don't know how much he used that.
Yeah, what period of his career was he using that? Because I never really kind of worked that out.
All I know with the X100B is the song Blue Powder.
Yeah.
That was available as a demo for the X100B.
Right. Okay. So presumably,
Yeah, isn't that funny? Yeah,
that's one of the best
probably
songs
using
they
it
have
on
too.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really, really good song.
Yeah.
Funny, hey.
They pop up sometimes
and-
too. Every time I see an X100B, I always send it to you. Like, it's almost.
I just looked up if there's one for sale. I don't think I could spend more than $500 on one now.
Yeah.
You know? Because I know I'm going to play it once and be like,
Yeah, just add it to the toy library, basically.
Yeah.
It's, you posted...
Another big dumb amp.
Yeah, you posted that picture today, like an hour ago, about like a stack of amps. And I think there was like the Hot Rod 50, the Cherrytone, the Recto, and a couple of Marshalls.
My 79 and then actually Ryan's DSL.
Oh, Ryan's DSL, yeah. And it's like, it's funny because I think my amp collection has gone significantly bigger in the last couple of years, but like I probably have caught up to you just about now. But
I reckon maybe exceeded.
I think I've got 14 amps now. But I reckon you had close to that, if not.
Yeah, I definitely had close to that. I sold a bunch of stuff a few years ago. Like I had that Cherrytone, the Son of Yeti, the Marshall Vintage Modern, the Laney GH50, an Orange Dark Terror.
You had the GH100 because I had the 50, which I sold.
I had the GH100, that's right. The Dark Terror. What else?
That's right.
I have a few preamps and bits and bobs, but I feel like there was another amp that I had that I sold. But regardless, that's still... I kind of sold a bunch of stuff and got the Molecular, so that was cool.
Yep.
And then I sold some other stuff and got that old Marshall, so it's more a consolidation phase, which is a ridiculous thing to say when you have as much stuff as we do. But yeah, that's cool. It's funny, you can see the Mark IV rack mounted at the moment.
Yep.
So that'd be fun to take out.
Just do it, mate.
Yeah.
It'd
be super fun to do all of that.
XT88 IR in the same rack.
Yep.
Just for clean sounds.
Well, I was going to suggest what you could do is you could use the X88 IR and run it through the Freyette.
Yeah. Or the Power Station. I got the Power Station now too.
Or the Power Station, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So there you go, kids. We're making plans. I think it would be super fun to cosplay as our favorite Whitesnake guitarist.
Yeah, like why not? It's just for any other gig. Like, we talk about this all the time. Like, we obviously love amps, but we also love digital because of convenience. And most of the time when we do gigs, convenience outweighs anything else. It's just not possible to drag an actual amp along when you're playing in the back of like even the Hen. Like that's a large outdoor gig, but you can't do it with an amp like that. So when are the other chances that you get to really crank stuff up? And the room is big enough to accommodate it too.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. And it's also close to the studio. So easy to load stuff in. I don't know if anything dies. I mean, the other thing is I'll probably still have this Soldano in 2 months. So I could also drag that along, which is kind of tempting. But the SLO, I mean.
Yeah.
So, mate, there's just options galore.
It's interesting. I remember now doing that Whitesnake gig in 2012, and I played a Les Paul, and it was February 2012, played a Les Paul and a DSL and a cabinet, and I think I had a Boss DD20 or maybe an MXR Carbon copy in the loop for some delay, and that was it. And I remember sound checking it, and I think you were there, and you're like, man, that sounds really good. Like, that's a cool guitar sound.
Yeah.
And then we kind of used that rig for the Here Today EP.
Yeah, the funny thing about that gig...
A life-changing rig.
Yeah. Like, back that Whitesnake gig, I mixed front of house for it because I was doing a lot more live sound back then. And
that's right.
And I remember showing up for sound check, and we had a lot of issues. I think maybe there was one foldback speaker short, so Kim the keyboard player had to leave to go get one, and then you guys as the Whitesnake band were doing 2 sets, and then there was a support band doing 1 set, and we total had about 10 minutes to sound check. And then the support band had an hour and a half to sound check for their 1 set.
I remember now.
And I remember walking in and being like, I think during their set, and I had a quick chat to the sound guy. I was like, oh, hey man, how's it going? He's like, oh yeah, I'm almost there. I've almost nailed the sound. I'm like, oh cool. He dragged all this outboard stuff in, and it was he went real hard with it. And then you guys did your first song, and I was just like, well, everything's different. So, and this is analog console days as well. It's not just digitally recall something. So All right, here we go. 2 minutes. Brrr. Yep, sounds close enough. It took maybe 3 songs where I was like, sounds like a gig. And I did it.
Yep.
I put so much reverb on the snare. Like, and particularly
right.
something like Judgment. I wanted like big, expansive reverb. But I remember Dougie, like your mate Dougie, afterwards was like, that's the best sound I've ever heard at a gig. I'm like, that's what I wanted. Like,
you got it.
I got it.
You got it. And he was someone, I remember him distinctly being at gigs while the gig was happening. You know, he was a loud, boisterous man. I'm sure he's still a loud, boisterous man, but just being like, nah, bro, this is the worst thing I've ever heard. Hey, like, you know, and saying that to sound like, man, what are you doing?
Yep.
Like, you're killing me. So, yeah, far out. I still kind of remember quite a lot about that gig. Weird that I remember things better from 12 years ago than 12 days ago, but
did something. I feel like you did the solo in Still of the Night maybe, and something was weird. I feel like maybe
there might have been like a big delay oscillation or something.
Yeah, there was something like in one of the big moments, the big solos on that thing, like
it just sucked.
Yeah, something was like the ones that it sucked, but just something happened. And I remember being a bit disappointed about that because, like, oh man, that's be cool to hear do that. By the way, I mean
that's just such a solo. Which yeah, no, mate,
I'll do one solo.
I got it.
I'll do one solo maybe, but depending on what the set is, because I'm fucking too lazy, mate. I'm gonna learn these rhythm parts, you know, and just look cool.
There's a lot of like the songs in A and the key changes to F sharp, or the songs in E and the key changes to F sharp for the solo.
Yeah,
just cause that's what you do. So yeah, there's some modulations and stuff, but you have Simon shouting at you. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
very very fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'll probably just 4 cable VP4, boom boom boom. I mean, what do I need? I need loud and dirty, and then louder, dirtier, and delay.
Yeah.
So, what more do you want out of life?
If I do I was thinking Marshall. So 77 Marshall, Power Station, and then maybe using the effects loop and just chucking something in the effects loop just if necessary. And I mean...
Well, Troy, you should do the Red Beach always on 320 millisecond delay. Do you know about that?
Oh, yeah. Mate, there you go. I'll use the Source Audio, whichever one I've got, the Ventress or the Nemesis or some shit. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Oh, all right, we got a plan.
In all seriousness, too,
we're going to pivot.
I was going to say quickly. I think I'm going to buy a VP4. I think I'm actually going to do it.
Yeah, you should.
I think I probably need
do
to.
It.
Yeah, it might be the final. I wouldn't say final solution like that, but yeah, it will be the solution to all life's problems. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that might.
Noted white nationalist Troy Nababan.
Please don't say that even jokingly. But no, half Indonesian over here as well. But anyway, they don't seem to have them at Independent that I could see at least. So I'm not sure if there's stock.
I think they'll have stock at the end of November. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure what the official price.
Or the middle of November.
Do you know what the price tag is? The Australia is 15-ish. Don't know. They don't have anything listed.
Probably $6,000 in Australia because everything's expensive here.
Yep.
Have you looked at the price of a Tyler guitar here?
No. What is it?
Like 15,000 Australian dollars.
15,000.
I toured the factory, and they're good guitars, and everyone who works there was super cool. But even they were like, "Oh yeah, we've seen what the price is there, bro. That sucks." I was like, "Yeah, this is why I don't own one."
There's one locally for sale at the moment, or there was.
Yeah, I saw someone selling one for $6-ish, which is a lot more. I don't know who's importing them, but it was.
Yeah, I think it was.
And this might have been a crazy.
No, it was Grant, like Siren Tower Grant.
Ah, right.
Yeah, so he just had some, like a ESP Lynch guitar, like a Skull and Crossbones one that he was selling too. He had some like cool stuff.
I retract what I said. There's a bunch on here for $6K.
Oh, well, there you go.
There's a Studio Elite with the schmear and a whole bunch of stuff for 17. Oh, no. What's this? The James Tyler Japans are about 5 or 6. The American ones are, 16K.
Because, my Sir... I think if you were to get that now, it would be like 10K plus. Which is like, I mean, I got mine in the States when the dollar was really good. So if it wasn't for that, there's no way I would have bought one. And this is
just out of curiosity while we're on this detour. Yeah, I mean, Sir Modern 8K, and then yours is Koa and it's got gold hardware and some cool stuff. It'd probably be 9 to 10.
Yeah, there was I feel like I saw an equivalent one for 10, like on 9,999 maybe a year ago or so. So I'll get that guitar set up and get my Reb Beach on. That'd be pretty fun. It's such a fun guitar. Oh, you know what I need to do though? Mate. So this episode is all over the place, and I hope people appreciate that and aren't going to get upset by it. But after we finish this, mate, because you got to jump on a plane and get out of here, I have to jump in my car and go to get a guitar from Mr. Tim, who's collected a Strat for a friend of mine. But maybe I'll take him the Sir to do the lumen inlays, because that's the problem with that guitar. Like we've spoken about this.
You can't see the neck.
You can't see the neck in the dark, and most gigs, unfortunately, are very dark. And honestly, John Sir,
should do it.
Like, what an idiot. Like, black fret markers on a roasted board. Like, don't work, mate. Like, absolute amateur hour, John Sir.
Who made that decision?
Yeah.
Pull them into your office.
Let's get him on this podcast.
Well, mate. Yeah.
And we'll get Joe Bonamassa on, talk about
like he roasted that man.
Yeah, we'll talk to Joe Bonamassa about The Simpsons. We'll talk to John Sir about that. Who else can we get on and flame?
Not only John Sir's barbecue game is top class.
Is it? Well, that's good. I mean, at the end of the day, the one thing that connects us all outside of guitar is barbecue.
It's one of the acceptable hobbies to have as a man over the age of 30 years old.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? Get into watches, enjoy barbecue, start training at a jiu-jitsu gym, and I don't know, get into electric guitar gear.
That's actually pretty much all there is. Honestly, there's not much else. Obviously guitars. I'm not really a watches type of a man. I do like the odd shoe here and there. But maybe not enough to spend thousands of dollars on it. But people like their shoe collection. I feel like we all just end up collecting something, don't we?
Yeah, you got to, mate. That's what we are. It's innate into human nature. You know what I mean? It's an innate property. But look, it's Halloween. I thought it might be nice, Troy, to segue into talking about our favorite Halloween-themed pieces of music. Okay?
Yep.
So without even being prompted or hearing this idea when we started, you gave me your best King Diamond, which you don't have to repeat.
I'm not going to do it again, no.
But should we start there?
Yeah. King Diamond, Halloween. It's the first thing that comes to my brain every time it's Halloween, but nobody knows the reference. I can't just sing it down the street.
I believe that's a Merciful Fate song.
Is it?
With him on vocals, but it's King Diamond.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, same diff. But he's got the market cornered because he's got a song about Halloween and a song about Christmas.
Yeah.
Like it's clever. It's very, very clever. Have you seen any live clips of King Diamond recently?
Not recently, no.
Man, so good.
Really?
Like just nailing everything.
Does he sound the same?
And I didn't appreciate. I mean, he sounds like he's 30 years older than he was 30 years ago, but it's still hyper impressive.
I mean, he must be close to 70 now, right?
And you're like, wow. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, sorry, you're saying about Halford?
I'm gonna look it up.
Maybe he's like 60s. I don't know.
King Diamond. Let's see. He is 68.
Oh yeah, well, close enough.
Yeah, that's amazing. But yeah, very, very good. Very, very good live. And Andy LaRocque's awesome. But yeah, No Presents for Christmas is awesome. Halloween is awesomer. I think just like everything King Diamond suits the Halloween theme. So everyone should go and listen to a bit of The King. Also did a King Diamond tribute with some friends in 2015, which was super fun.
Yeah,
I didn't appreciate...
Remember, I was supposed to play bass for that originally.
That's right.
I did some jams, I learned some songs. I'm not unhappy that I didn't have to do that tribute. I think it was probably...
that was a hard gig, man.
Yeah.
For various reasons, but yeah.
King
hard
Diamond
material.
It's not my sort of like... Well, not that it's not my sort of thing. Like, I never went through like a King Diamond phase. I like the music, but I like it occasionally, And yeah. There's some stuff. Is Abigail? Is that the album or is that the song? Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
Both.
Yeah,
great song.
But I just can't drag it out all the time. It's just a special occasion sort of a thing. I might listen to that when I'm at the gym tonight.
King Diamond is up there with Alter Bridge for like metal songs in 6/8 for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay.
You know how like every Tremonti riff is kind of like dun dun like they just use six a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of that with King Diamond, like a dun sort of thing, and then so many key changes, like hard to keep track of.
Yep.
But yeah, awesome. Andy LaRocque's such a great player, and a very good writer and recorder of music as well. So yeah.
What about Gary LeVox from Rascal Flatts? Is he? No,
I think he's up there.
I don't know why I thought it. Well, I know why I thought of it. Someone LaRocque and LeVox. They just sound like it's the same thing to me. Anyway, go on.
And there's that band LeBrock.
LeBrock. Yeah, they're not too bad.
They got some cool stuff. So yeah, that one I'm going to submit. Even though, well, I mean, the thing is, right, you got to have some Sabotage in there.
Yeah.
Hall of the Mountain King, because that, I don't know, it's not a Halloween themed song, but it definitely suits like the atmosphere and his voice.
Where's your Sabotage vibe? Didn't you have a thing behind you before? Have I seen that YouTube thing before?
Probably not,
mate.
That's the
good on you.
The Hyundai K plaque.
Look at you, cool.
Mate. What is going on in here? Yeah, mate. Good album. Get it. I remember buying this on CD when the JB Hi-Fi at Whitford City opened up, and I was just like there. I don't know. I think I had a doctor's appointment when I was like, this is maybe 2014.
Yep.
And my mum was like, "Oh, we'll just pop into the shops after you go to the doctor." And I was like, "Yeah, cool." And I was like, "Cool, JB Hi-Fi." I walked in, they had this, and they had the Edge of Thorns album, and I was like, "What?" And I just happened to have enough money to buy both of them at the time. And it was so good. And the liner notes were so good. It was like the history of the band.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was cool. And, the very, just things that sound like they look. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'd never really got into
one of my favorite albums.
Like, I remember, like, when we met, man, like, you were still hell into it, but it just wasn't really something that...
I mean, how can you not be into this?
That's kids these days, mate. They don't understand. They don't appreciate it. But nah. Well, I should check that out. Maybe I'll listen to that as well today.
They don't know what it's like to pay $29.95 for Symphony X, The Odyssey.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain the only Symphony X album I ever bought was what's that one?
Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost. Yeah, because the rest of them you gave me on an MP3 CD, which was actually. There was so this is when we met. This is like 2006, 2007. You burnt me a CD that had like all of the Symphony X albums on it and all of the Deep Purple albums on it. And it was an MP3 CD, which meant that like rather than a normal CD, like it would have, just 10 or like 20 albums or whatever.
Remember figuring that out?
Yeah. And, there was all of a sudden like hundreds of songs on one CD. It was in my car. I used to drive around listening to it, but probably like that's when Come Taste the Band, like I listened to that became one of my favorite Purple albums, and Burn as well.
I remember getting in your car and you were listening to Ode to G.
Yeah, amazing. And we saw Hughes sing that song as well. Remember that when Glenn Hughes did that concert?
Was sick.
That was like there's a few bucket list moments like that, musical bucket list moments, and seeing Glenn Hughes do some of those tracks was pretty amazing. And also seeing Coverdale on that Purple tour do some of them too. Like, I'm very glad that we got to experience those.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's probably the last chance to see with a lot of that stuff. Hey.
Yeah. Do you follow?
Bit of Sabotage.
You should follow David Coverdale on social media, by the way. Like, just you specifically, on everyone's
like
not so much.
Everyone's favorite granny.
he's just posts like grandma memes like on Twitter all the time. It's like, or grandpa memes. They're like on the edge of being inappropriate. They're funny. They're not like that offensive, but it's just like, it just makes me laugh.
That's great. What were we talking about? Halloween theme things.
Oh yeah. So the other one, the second one you mentioned, mate. Not Halloween, but Helloween, which is a band that I forget about.
Oh, do you remember just the early days of the internet and discovering power metal?
Oh, mate, like 2006, I reckon. Sonata Arctica, used to listen to them a bit. Ed Guy.
Yeah. Ed Guy, yep. Ed Guy had that album Hellfire Club, which I really liked. Ed Guy to me were weird because, I really liked them because they were kind of power metal-y, but they clearly had a sense of humor.
Yep.
And they have a song called Lavatory Love Machine.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, which is just a Scorpions song. Yeah. Like, it's great. Now, Kane, I was trying to learn. Here's a challenge for you, everybody. Halloween have a song called Halloween, and I was like, this sounds easy. And it's like 13 minutes long.
Yeah, easy.
But there's a like a tremolo picking arpeggio thing they do that's so difficult. So it's just like an A minor sweep shape, right? But they're going, but then it's, and then like so they're just double picking everything, like, but it's very, very difficult to play. Like, it's actually so surprisingly difficult to play that kind of thing. Really, really hard. So yeah, I was going to try and record that and post it for Halloween, but I can't play it properly yet. So yeah, you get that.
Is the first one 5 as well?
I think it's like...
Oh, it is 6.
It's all 16th notes.
Okay.
But it's 6, yeah. So...
Okay.
Yeah, like really hard to do properly. And there's also, it's all just up. You know, he's doing that Halloween.
Imagine if they did it slower. The song would be 21 minutes long.
Now, another JB Hi-Fi story. I went to JB Hi-Fi in the city, Perth CBD, with a girl from school.
Oui.
So, you know, like a bit of a day date. And I was like, just interrupted in the middle of it. I was like, oh my God, they have Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 1 by Halloween. I need to buy it. And I just remember getting this look of like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, where do you want to start? So yeah, and not paying $30 for it either. That was great. I think I bought a Nevermore album that day.
Oh yeah, I remember that band. Like Jeff Loomis is still around, obviously, but I remember Nevermore had a moment
Loomis
in
is
like
still around,
2005
still killing it.
where everyone was just like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." So
the album, I think called This Godless Endeavor, very good. Like an interesting band. You know,
it's been a while since I've listened to that. I should check that out again.
Put on the song Psalm of Lydia. It will make you enjoy thrash metal and sweep picking. You just be like, sweeping is awesome.
Sweeping was all that mattered to people back in 2006. And my reaction to that, because I was listening to like only Paul Gilbert basically, was like, no, string skipping arpeggios is the only way to play an arpeggio. You can't sweep. Yeah. And it's because I could never do it. Like the way I used to hold a pick just did not accommodate sweep picking. So just now that I can,
these ones.
Yeah. It was too hard. I can probably do some like 3 to 4 sweeps and it's okay, but I never feel like I really got it clean. Oh yeah, that's right. That's the lick,
he does this like that, and then yeah, fun song. Like and lots of like standard tune 7-string stuff as well.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you're actually playing 7-string kind of the way, like pre-drop A 7-string, you know, or drop G 7-string. Yeah, man, Loomis is still like terrifyingly good at guitar, you know?
Yeah.
And he's got the like, he can play rock guitar too as well, you know? So yeah, Halloween. Man, yeah, exactly. I went and listened to some and I was like, I understand why the local metal forum hated power metal so much. If, you know, if you were into power metal unironically like I was, you'd be like, no, this is the best style of metal. And they'd just be like, just go and listen to Judas Priest, kid.
I never got into Blind Guardian. They were the one that I kind of missed, but I know they were.
I got into them a little bit, but I think they toured here recently.
Yeah, not that long ago.
Which is kind of interesting to know. So, yeah, man. Halloween. I just remember being upset because I think the thing for me was I would read about these bands more than I got the chance to listen to them. You know, you go on like online and read forums and those like rockdetector.com and stuff like that where you could just read about bands and like fun facts.
Yep.
I think one of the guys from Halloween started Masterplan.
Oh yeah. They were cool.
Roland Grapow. Yeah, they had some fun stuff. Obviously, Jorn Lande on vocals, killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we got to just pivot to the most important Halloween themed or horror themed guitar solo ever played.
You're talking about the greatest.
Lynch jumps through that wall.
Oh my God. Dream Warriors by Dokken is still one of my favorite songs of all time. And the music video makes it even better, but I thought the song was great. But oh my goodness, like George Lynch, I mean, you think about the Breaking the Chains music video where he, you know, like exactly what the words are, is chained up and has to break them to do the guitar solo to, you know, break the other members of Dokken out of their chains. Like, you know, it's not really subtle, but it's very memorable. And yeah, busting through a wall to to stop Freddy Krueger is quite iconic. Yeah, I had a copy of that, which I got off LimeWire, which is how I, you know, that's how we used to get things back in the day, pre-YouTube and pre-torrenting. And I used to try and find all these music videos, but the one I had of Dream Warriors was such a small file. It's such like the resolution would have been the equivalent of a stamp. That's how small it was.
Wow.
So it always looked awful, but I could still make out the important parts.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just so good. And Freddy Krueger waking up at the end of the music video. Oh my God, who are those guys? I'm pretty sure that one of the guys on Cracked like 10 plus years ago wrote an article about that music video. I'll have to find it and send it to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best. That is untouchable, the greatest. It's the best Dokken solo. It's just it's a great guitar solo.
Yeah. How do you feel about that album? Do you like that album?
Not really.
Yeah.
Which is a funny thing. And that song's tacked on at the end as like, oh yeah, this was the song they did for a movie that they put out on the album. Yeah, I'm not a under lock and key. No, I'm an under lock and key guy. I'm not a Back for the Attack guy.
Back for the Attack, yeah. Not Beast from the East, yeah. Back for the Attack. Yeah, I like Kiss of Death.
Beast from the East is cool.
Yeah. Kiss of Death, I think it's a good song. I think that's a great riff. I'm going to remember what else is on that album. I think there's another, maybe one or two iconic songs on there, but it was not their best work. I think it's...
I mean, it doesn't have Unchain the Night.
Well, I think Lightning Strikes is still one of my favorite Dokken songs. Here, what's on this album? Oh my God. I just scrolled past the Hell to Pay album cover, which just makes me laugh. I don't know why.
I think I own a Razor Slate on CD. Isn't that funny? And I've never listened to it.
Heaven Sent. I didn't mind that song. Mr. Scary's on that album. So I guess that kind of... And Lost Behind the Wall. I didn't mind that one too. But yeah... The earlier stuff. What was George using on that album? Was that one of the?
Does George know?
Because what was the guy? Is it Aston Pittman, the guy that had the
Aspen Pittman?
Pittman, yeah. Like, was it maybe one of those ones, like those high? Because that's where he got into all. He wasn't using Soldano
the SAR,
album, but
yeah. I think the first Lynch Mob album is
that's Soldano, isn't it?
SLO, yep. Man, interesting.
Because like I know
isn't it crazy that when we saw him in Perth, he was playing it. He had an SLO on stage, but just played an old Marshall.
That was for the like Lynch Mob gig, right? Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
in 2008. Yeah. I funnily enough don't remember much about that gig.
I remember an unnamed acquaintance coming and sitting down next to me, and talking about how cool the gig was going to be. And there was us, and then there was like these two girls sitting there. Mm-hmm. And then he sort of like turned around and they said like one or two things to one another. They just started making out. Then he looked at me, he's like, man, I don't know who that is, hey? And then this person, the next time I saw them, had his dick out on top of a table at the Rosemount like this, and then got tackled by bouncers.
I don't even know who you're talking about. You have to tell me after this.
You might know who they are. You've probably like come across them, but now the mellowest, down to earth dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a late teens, early 20s, was just a loose unit. And anyway, enough about that. But that's what I distinctly remember about that gig. So
yeah. I remember buying Mike
and George getting. I remember that well.
But
and then George just like apparently having to be carried out of the venue because he had a few too many bevies.
Is that right? Do you know what I just remembered too? Because you didn't go to his signing in like 2006. Remember he came in like
Nah.
I really wanted to go, but I had a uni commitment, so I couldn't check it out. But Cam went and got me an autograph, like signed picture sort of thing. But I just remember this, like the that signed picture is probably long gone. It'll be in a drawer somewhere that I haven't seen for years.
Shame.
But the picture of it is like George looking like, sultry George, but he's playing that weird flying V, kind of like Rhodes-ish, like chubby looking Rhodes V thing. I forgot all about that guitar till just then. Like,
man, he had some yuck guitars, didn't he?
Yeah. Like he's playing the Skull and Cross, not the Skull and Crossbones, the Bones guitar in that what we say
the J Frog, as Ed Roman would have us.
Oh yeah,
remind. Yeah, it's like, it's not an ESP, it's a J Frog.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, okay, cool internet personality from 2006. I'm going to quote this at every opportunity. First time I've ever had the chance to quote it.
Yep.
What's cool about the Dream Warriors solo, though, is, he does that thing where he does like a hammer on pull off, then a slide back and a slide up.
Oh yeah.
That kind of whole. Oh yeah, it's there. There's a lot of, I don't know if he's self-harmonizing or using like a harmonizer on that album a lot, but like Mrs. Scary has heaps of, like
I think he played
fixed
that.
harmony things happening. Yeah, interesting.
I always thought the Mrs. Scary stuff was played, but maybe I'm wrong. It sounds, maybe it isn't, but I always thought it was.
But yeah. Anyway, in conclusion, George is the best.
Yes, we should get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Anyone
that would be a dream.
George, come on the podcast
and have him just not get any of it, like Paul Gilbert on the JHS show.
Yeah, that was fun. Oh, Paul, come on the podcast.
Yeah, just do it, bro.
Like, you wouldn't talk Simpsons with Paul Gilbert. You'd talk like, I don't know, Perfect Strangers.
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry. That'd be fun. Mate, you can get on that.
Oh, man. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, because we have family members who are big into this band, right? So obviously Ghost, like the whole thing's Halloween appropriate.
Yep.
And your son went as Papa Emeritus, number 2 or number 3 is Halloween. It was one of the best Halloween costumes I've ever seen. It's
very good, and your lovely wife made that for him as well, which I think was a great moment for everybody involved. And the band shared that picture too, which was really cool.
Yeah. There you go.
So yeah, I think
he's peaked before the age of 6.
I know he hasn't. He was 3 when we did that costume, so he's 5 now. I don't think he'd fit into it anymore.
Is he still into Metallica and Ghost?
He still likes Ghost. It's come and gone a little bit. He's been asking to listen to Ghost again this week. Metallica he hasn't really listened to for a little bit. I was actually thinking because Metallica's coming to Perth, and I had for the small
get him on the
second,
podcast.
Yeah, mate. We can get to Kirk Hammett, surely. Kirk Hammett and I have the same birthday, so brothers in.
Kirk, I've got a mate. He owns a pub. The guy who co-owns a pub has horses. Let's go.
Yeah, mate. We'll get you a pink singlet. You'll fit right in.
Yep.
But yeah, it'd be cool to take my kid to see like Metallica because like realistically, they don't have much longer left doing these sort of gigs. Like they're or at least if they. Where you're going to catch them now is about as good as they've been for the last 10 years and about as good as they'll be for the next 5 years. And so got to go see them when we can. So, it's probably a little too young to go to a Metallica show because I don't think he'd last, but it would be pretty awesome. Same as like WWE's apparently coming back next year. I'd love to take him. Yeah, but at 6, I don't know. Like I've got to get that over the line and I'm not sure the warden's going to go for that, but we'll see. Anyway.
Isn't it funny that, one last Halloween special on that. The usage of the term the Warden, obviously from Zakk Wylde.
Yep.
But obviously Zakk known for his association with the one and only Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, mate, who's your favourite Aussie guitarist besides Ian Moss? Not Australian.
I don't know. I do have a kind of a big soft spot for Zakk because I really like that album. But they're all different. It's probably Jake. I don't know.
Yeah. Bro,
it's probably Randy. Who knows? It's probably Greg Gillis.
Mate, the Gill Dog did... look, I'm going to put it out there. No one I know could do what Brad Gillis did stepping into that gig at that time and just killing it the way he did. Pretty amazing the amount of time he had to learn all that stuff and then go out and just nail it live. And he's on that live album and he's so good. Like Brad Gillis, why didn't you take that gig? Well, probably because you would have made more money with Night Ranger.
It's a shame.
We all know what kind of happened to Jake.
Yeah, the world has really forgotten about him more than he probably deserved. Like he was very good. Troy, he still is very good.
Let's rectify this and get him on the podcast.
Like, get him on the podcast, mate.
You know what? I reckon you would have, if you backyard barbecue, you can invite any 3 guitar players. I reckon if you invite Brad Gillis and Reb Beach as 2 of them, you're going to have a great time no matter who else you invite.
Nah, it's going to be Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, Eric Johnson. Just recreate G3 1996.
Yeah.
That'd probably still be pretty fun, actually, but, you know. It's no, you put okay, Brad Gillis, Reb Beach, and Yngwie Malmsteen. What do you think about that? Oh, John Sykes. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. John would just be, you know, he wouldn't front.
Yep.
So you just be having a great time with Brad Gillis and Reb Beach. I think Reb did some Night Ranger gigs, didn't he?
I think so. I think he's played with everybody.
So this has happened. I reckon there's been a barbecue with the 2 of them at it, having a fat time. You know. Yeah, man, Brad Gillis, that would be, if anyone out there listening knows how to get Brad Gillis on this podcast, I would be so interested because, I mean, he's an early adopter of the Floyd Rose. Mm-hmm. He played with fucking Ozzy. You know, he's done Night Ranger, like one of the most American bands of the 80s. That'd be super interesting.
Yeah.
Super interesting. But yeah,
anyway, do you reckon,
all the Ozzy Osbourne catalogue.
Do you reckon there's a WhatsApp conversation that exists and it's just all these dudes just in there, just jumping in, just having fat chats all the time,
sending photos of their smoked brisket?
Yeah, like none of it's guitar related. They're just hanging out, you know. It's there.
Oh man.
Anyway, we should wrap it up because you got to get on a plane soon.
We should wrap it up. We got to go. So everyone have a great Halloween. Thanks for putting up to us. Please let us know in the comments your favorite Halloween themed song, moment. It's obviously George Lynch breaking through that wall in the Dream Warriors video clip, but anything adjacent to that. And I guess we'll see you all next week. I'll have some news from the Noosa GF. I look forward to 1, doing it, and 2, talking about it.
The Noosa Grand Final.
The Noosa Grand Final.
Yeah, tell us who wins the Norm.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, mate.
Look, mate, I'm heavily backing myself.
Yeah. Mate, you know, the draft's coming up as well, the AFL draft, obviously.
Yeah.
So we'll have a bit of footy
next
content
episode
for people when that happens, because I know they're missing out.
Final Fantasy Guitar Draft League coming up next week. See you, everybody.
Peace. Bye.